Hey, how's it going, dear viewers? It's AK here, today at Tongji Bridge. Well, across the bridge, that's the old neighborhood on the island. All of those houses are in the middle of being demolished. Not a whole lot going on here today. Weather's kind of nice. Temperatures dropped to about 18 to 22 degrees Celsius, I would say, judging by how it feels on my skin. And yeah, it's gotten quite cloudy. Last night it was raining, and so did the night before. I suppose that's why the temperatures dropped. You can see that there's almost nobody around these neighborhoods here anymore. These are some of the oldest and poorest parts of town. Those who remain are either those who can't afford to move or can't physically move. Well, whatever the case is, pretty much nothing is still open here anymore. Aside from a couple of old factories that are still producing random hardware. I think they're mostly hardware stuff like plastics or pipes and whatnot. And I think there's a shipyard not too far from here, like a fishing boat type of shipyard. A couple of food warehouses. I guess I'll start recording if there's anything interesting that comes up. Still around the same neighborhood, but yeah, something remarkable happened today. That is, I have become officially unemployable by a lot of companies in China and around the world. Yes, around the world, you heard me right. Not every country doesn't put a limit on the age of people who can be employed, if that even makes sense grammatically, but I guess you know what I mean. So yeah, if we're looking at rules on immigration and whatnot, you'll see that once you pass this age, you're not gonna score very well on these immigration scoring charts for most of the countries I know, at least. And in terms of employability, well, not exactly the most fit to be employed anymore. Oh, by the way, this is the extension to Xiaogongyuan, but it's still being repaired and renovated. Some of them are being removed or rebuilt. So the roads here aren't exactly in the best condition. These houses might collapse at any moment, but some people still live here. In fact, quite a few people still live here. Not to mention all the tourists we're still getting, even though it's not tourism season anymore. Now, do any of these buildings have a special, well, or had any of these buildings had a special purpose at all in history? Well, I don't know. Some of them have a plaque in front of them saying what they were and how they were used, but most of them are just generic housing, or seems like they are generic housing for the local residents. What I'm really here to do is I'm looking for a nice little pavilion somewhere around here. It's not the one in the tourist district. There's another one somewhere here, and that one is just for the neighborhood park, a neighborhood parkette. Somewhere around here, but I don't think I'll be able to find it today. So obviously this is one fancy old building, but it still doesn't have any information plaques around it. Not that I can find, at least. That one sells pickled foods, and most of these shops are closed. That's just the name of the neighborhood. And that's the community center. Restaurants, small restaurants, and hairdressers. Alright, so these are probably the real buildings where people live, or have lived for the past century, perhaps more. And yes, they certainly do look like they were built, I would say, in the 60s, because they, or the 50s, because they do give the same vibe that the same type of buildings have when I was at different neighborhoods in different cities. So for example, Xi'an, if you see a building like this, it was probably built in the 1960s. So that would be my guess for these buildings here. But I could be wrong. So here's a quick look at how the structures look like before and after renovation or rebuilding. Like this corner is a prime example. The right side, this corner is in a complete disrepair. It's about to collapse even, but on this side it's new and rebuilt. Shiny and sturdy, yes. Wow. Still feeling a little sick from a couple of days ago. It's because of hay fever caused by fall allergies. For some reason I got really bad fall allergies after moving here. So every year around this time I get quite sick for at least a week or so. Yeah, I guess there's really, if I can't find the pavilion, then there's really no point of me continuing this video, so I suppose that's all for now. Until next time, AK out.